What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I am joined by
Gershwin
in another intricate episode of For the Greater.
Whoa. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get those questions first.
And that is what Dave's Wasabi did. His question is, what minor Xenos race would you guys like to see get their own Codex, and why?
That's a good question. We answer first.
There's two that come to my mind right away, and that is the Hrud and the Rack Ghoul. I feel like the Rack Ghoul has more of a lore built around them, so that would probably be the better option. But the Hrud are so interesting. They're basically trash creatures that alter time around themselves. It is said that when a Hrud migration happens, usually there's so many of them and such a great span that whatever they go through just decays and dies. So if they go through like a city, you'd see rust, maybe the buildings would collapse. People would just age and die right then and there. If they go through like a farmland or an agricultural world, you know, they're just devastated because they've got no plants, nothing anymore. So I think the Hrud would be a pretty cool race, but like there's just so many holes that need to be filled. Like abilities, armaments, hierarchy, that I don't see it happening. But it'd be a cool thing.
Yes. A lot of holes to be filled. I would say the Kroot. I've always wanted a Kroot army. They had a mercenary codex back in 5th edition or 4th edition, but I really think that the Kroot need to have their own stand. I mean, they have the models for it.
You got Krootoks, you've got Narlocks,
Kroot Hounds.
You've got Shapers.
Just the regular warriors, and then all the conversions you can do. You can do so many conversions.
Yeah. Have like the close combat specialists be like eaten like orc hide, so now they're like big and tough. Have psychers by having them eat like Eldar meat, something like that. There's a lot of avenues you can explore with that, and it'd be really cool.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by DeFool06. Which is larger, an Eldar craft world or a Blackstone fortress?
It depends on the craft world, but most of the time it is the craft world.
Because I think Blackstone fortresses are what, like moon-sized?
Around there, yep.
Yeah, because I mean they're pretty durable too. Like if they crash into a moon, they'd probably survive.
Yeah. Next question comes from The Rain. Do orcs feel love or care for things? They care for killing. And they love killing, so yeah. Next question.
Mark Myers. You may have answered this already, but since Space Marines don't really get paid, how are they able to acquire equipment such as food, armor, etc.?
They have tithes from the Imperium. So yeah.
Also, like raids, they could just acquire weaponry that way. They could be hired by planetary governors or working for them, such as the Minotaurs. And they could have like close ties with the AdMech and have like reserves of armor or titans for that matter. So there's a lot of ways, but for the most part, tithes.
And then within a chapter monastery, like there's cooks, there's a lot of serfs, and those serfs were established since the beginning of the chapter. So in a sense, each Space Marine chapter is its own nation kind of thing. So they have agricultural lands, they have, if they don't have agricultural lands, then they have like, what are they called? Agri-worlds that ship in food, all that kind of stuff.
But I mean, Space Marines don't really need to eat.
Right. They still do though. They have, was it 5 or 3 meals? Something like that. Every day.
Travis Hybo. Oh, hi. I'm about to purchase my first army. Can you help me decide between Space Wolves and Blood Angels? I really do enjoy ranged or heavy weapons. Also, if you do pick one of these, can you give me advice? I chose them because they're my favorite chapters, regardless of how they play. So yeah, if you go with the Space Wolves route or the Blood Angels, they're both very like close combat oriented armies. With the Space Wolves, you could have the, what are they called? The ones that ride on wolves? Thunderwolf Riders, which is Cavalry, which is a really good model. You'll get to close combat quickly, but at the same time, with the Blood Angels, you've got Sanguinary Guard, you've got Junk Pack troops, so you're going to get up close and personal no matter what. I'd say just go with your favorite army, and kind of don't worry too much about what's better competitively, because at the end of the day, if you play an army and you don't like it, you're probably not going to play a lot of 40k. It's going to suck building things, it's going to suck painting things, so go with an army that you truly love.
The easier one to paint is definitely Blood Angels, though.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Spray paint them red, do a few highlights.
Add a wash, and you're done. Next question. I have one from the... Nope, we already answered that one. Nope, we already answered that one. This one comes from Matthew Quigley. How does God School Thraka poop? He doesn't. He just poops. Or he doesn't poop, he just sweats his excrements. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, excrement.
Excrement. Next question.
Pineapple. Which psychic discipline would you like to master yourself? And then, what psychic powers in general? I like the Tempestus discipline. It's between Pyromancy, which is fire, or Fulmination, which is lightning. Either one's fine.
I want Divination, just because that seems practical and it won't draw attention to me. Because you're going to go into, like, the mall or something and just shoot fire. Whereas if I have Divination, I can be like, oh, there's a sale. Today or something.
Everything's half off.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Michael Howell. Since current chapters are being reinforced by Primaris Marines from the same gene stock, how do chapters that don't know which legion they descended from get new recruits?
That's the dilemma, isn't it? And that's where you can go in there and twist things and play around with, like, a chapter where the old guys are all one gene father, and then the new ones are a different gene father, probably the Ultramarines.
Yeah, most likely it's the Ultramarines.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how they guess. Next question.
This one is by Defool06. If all the races of 40k are to be ranked from strongest to weakest, which do you guys think takes the top and bottom spot? Strongest, currently, I'll say the Necrons. Currently. And that's without them having all their tomb worlds awake.
In the lore or tabletop?
He doesn't say. He just says if all races in 40k ranked from strongest to weakest.
Okay, I would say the Tyranids.
Is this... Oh, okay, so let's split it into two. We'll do lore first. Lore, Necrons.
I still think lore is Tyranids just because we don't know how many Tyranids there could... Like, the entire galaxy could be surrounded by high fleets.
But again, there's no biomass to consume from the Necrons. But still, they'll still fight.
Yeah, they'll still fight. And I don't think you can destroy, like, the Tyranids because you don't know how many of them there are. They could just be, like, infinite.
One thing, though, is they did have to join... The Necrons joined forces with the Blood Angels to take on the Tyranids. So that kind of shows you how much of a threat Tyranids are. But, Necrons.
And then, as far as tabletop?
Weakest lore-wise.
Oh, weakest? Mm-hmm. The Eldar?
Yeah, because they're a dying race.
And they're too cocky to, like...
To be allies with anyone.
Yeah. They got a god, and they still can't get things right. But yeah.
They got 3 gods that are still alive. Well, 4 if you count Isha.
Mm-hmm.
But, like...
Right.
Weakest, lore-wise.
That was weakest.
Oh, yeah. Strongest, tabletop-wise.
That's a tough one, but I think it's Orcs.
I'll go with Imperial Guard. Because you could, like, spam.
Maybe. And the weakest?
Tabletop-wise?
Dark Eldar.
Yeah, I guess. Any army, really, if you don't know how to play.
Yeah. Good question, though. Next one comes from Galvanius. Yeah, Galvanius. Do you think Games Workshop will succumb fully to PC culture and will get trans Space Marines? Or are other Space Marines... Or the Lost Primarchs would turn out to be exiled gay lovers. Well, Space Marines are technically trans just because they're not a gender anymore, right? Their
parts are cut off.
Yeah,
so it's like they went through the surgery but never finished it.
Well, now yeah, because you could be asexual, right?
Mm-hmm. So I guess they're asexual Space Marines.
Yeah,
but they
weren't in the beginning,
right? Because you have to be male to become a Space Marine.
Right.
Because the way the gene seed works with the sex.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it already exists. And then were they exiled gay lovers? Maybe you should write a fan fiction about it.
I'd read it.
Next question.
This one is by Devin Hoff Felix. Which 40k army would you simply refuse to not play?
Refuse to not play?
Refuse to play.
Okay. I don't think they're... I mean...
I'll try every army, but I think I'll have the least fun playing the Imperial Guard. Simply because they never appealed to me. I just feel like they're just regular people. Why do regular people when you could be like a freaking Necron or like a freaking Space Marine?
Yeah, that's true.
I think the same way in D&D. It's like, why would I pick a human when I could be like a freaking like half god or like something like that?
It's dumb that human is even a thing. But I heard their boost is really good. Like they get a +1 to everything.
They basically are like the best at all. They're like the jack of all trades.
They're like the Space Marines.
Yeah.
I think I would have the least fun playing. No, I would play all of them, even the shitty ones like the Dark Eldar. I would play. Oh, Harlequins, maybe Harlequins. I just feel like they're an elite unit, and if they're not, their sculpts are all like doing crazy stuff. So you would wherever you would move them, they'll just fall over. Yeah. I feel like that's how it would be. So yeah.
What were those poses again?
There you go. Next question.
It's not a question, but I thought I'd bring it up. Piggy Pig Pig. I stopped playing Warcraft and I finally lost my virginity. I hope you guys get out and experience sex soon. There's more to life than toys.
You're talking to the guy who has a family. Yeah.
Sometimes you can bring toys to other things.
Like that Seinfeld episode where like George Costanza starts eating during sex. So you're gonna start playing 40k during. Hey, Ben, it's your turn.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Yeah.
What does he mean? I can't move my Space Marine. It's got some kind of white sticky substance on it. Yeah. Oh, that's just green stuff.
Next question comes from Augustus Anderson. Please answer my question. Next question. So I already might have asked this, but does the Imperium have television, movie theaters, or internet? Yes. We kind of talked about this actually in this video. There's still like entertainment in even the most gruesome and grimdark places, war-torn places. You know, even war-torn places have like comic strips and people try to tell stories and stuff.
Yeah. Television, internet, stuff like that. It's always a good medium to use as propaganda, advertisements, that kind of thing. So you can push the whole join the Imperial Guard agenda on TV, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at like Blade Runner, it's like everything on TV and billboards is all just ads.
Yep. That's why you have to rage against the machine of media. Whatever happened to that band? Rage Against the Machine.
I don't know. Time.
They stopped raging. They got the butcher's nails taken out. Last question comes from Pineapple. What's psych? We already read that one. Last question comes from Michael Howell.
Psych. We already read that one. Did we?
Really? Did you? Yep, we did. Oh shoot. What do you got?
This one's by Merek Gruska. Do you think that it's possible that some survivors of the Interrex or the Fash civilizations are still alive in 40k? Maybe hidden somewhere, or have their remnants of their civilization cruising through space-time with one of the lost Primarchs?
I lost track of the question. What's the question?
Basically, do you think the Interrex or some other old civilization is still out there?
Oh yeah, of course.
Nothing is ever truly dead in 40k.
And it's the galaxy. The galaxy is massive. There are places that have been, like, what is it called when an island is by itself?
Isolated?
Isolated for eons. So, yeah.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, they might just be isolated by warp storms, or maybe there's been like a Tyranid hive tendril that cut them off from the rest of the galaxy and they're somehow still surviving. Thriving, maybe?
Thriving.
And the warp is pretty big, so you never know what could be in there.
And those are the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. Don't forget we have a Patreon. It's a simple $1 a month. It helps us create more videos for you guys. That's it.
Check out the Facebook page and
Plug. Peace out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.